Good evening, everybody. It is around 9:20 p.m. in Ohio here. So it is after 9 on the East Coast. And just a nice kind of cool evening, not too hot. Pleasant evening. Just making this video about the struggles with life, basically. Struggles with life, family members, friends out there, just anybody around the area, or on Facebook, social media, people that like to put other people down, that are putting you down, me down, anybody, because they're jealous, or it's like they feel like they've got to do that because it helps them, their ego and stuff like that. You know, I might have had a little ego before and everything, but it's gone now. Like, got no ego. You know, the only problem I got is trying to do stuff and for myself and prove to myself I can do things. I mean, yeah, I like to prove to other people that I can do things and not make a liar out of myself. Not look like a fool or nothing, but I like to say things and set myself up and know that I'm going to do it, get something done, or try to at least. And so I do things on purpose. A lot of people don't like to do that. You know, they don't set themselves up, set these expectations, nothing like that. You know, you want to do some, not high expectations. I used to have those. But you got to be careful with that. But we got a lot of people putting us down, and tell you what, a lot of jealousy out there, criticism. I've had it growing up, and or heard it from other people. It's quite annoying. It really gets to you. It's definitely a test. It puts you down, and it makes it hard to push and push for your goals. So many people, they do want to see you fail. And that's like when you fail, you're down, depressed. You know, then they wonder where you're at. You know, what's going on? I mean, where were you when, you know, I was still living and doing stuff? You know, it makes no sense. You wonder where people were before. But they're wondering, and, you know, they don't really ask, you know, do anything. They didn't know what happened. And they're still quiet about it. You know, try to reach out. And then you know, come out of the woodworks and, you know, doing good, or you're talking again, you're working some other job, or you're doing whatever, and they're seeing all these changes in you, these differences, and they can't accept it. You know, it's just too bad, because if you're a new version of yourself, they're going to have to accept it, or you just meet new people and stuff like that too. Anyway, it happens, you meet new people. That's a normal thing, and they accept you as you are now, so it don't matter. Nothing matters. But just the struggle with life and people, it's just crazy. It's getting worse. It gets worse. I don't think it matters at whatever age. Don't matter. But life's been tough. It don't matter where you're at, or if you're living with family members or under someone else's roof. It doesn't mean you have it easy. People like to think that, oh, you know, this person or that, and Adam, he has it so easy. You know, his family has helped him, backed him up, supported him, or, you know, this person has it easy, and, you know, they don't have any bills. They don't have this and that. Adam don't have any bills. He, you know, has it easy. Doesn't have any responsibilities. I mean, why do they assume stuff like that? Why do people assume things about us? Say this stuff like we're a piece of dirt, like we got no responsibilities or nothing. You know, they act like we're just taking people for granted here. You know, family and our own people for granted, and taking advantage of them. You know, like we're a piece of crap or something. I don't know what it is. It does get to you, bothers you. So I've just been kind of putting it out there that, it's not the case. Nothing is perfect with anybody. Just opening those doors up, and nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm letting it show now, and got no problem doing it. Trying to open doors for people so they're not scared to come out. But there's a difference between constructive criticism and insults, being insulted. When a family member, or like my father, they say to us, that or this looks like shit, that don't look good, or that looks dumb, and you're stupid, blah blah blah, you don't need to be doing that no more, or you don't know what you're doing, and oh, you can't do this, you can't have that, can't have a house, can't have anything. Those are all insults. Those are all just put downs. Can't do nothing, whatever. Can't do nothing right. Got to criticize and insult and ridicule and just belittle, put stuff down, and the problems that people have, and like I have myself, stem from it. I had to cut the video. I was disrupted on stuff, but coming back, so I will have to combine these two now. But anyways, right when the video cut off, I was talking about how, when we're put down a lot by family members or people out there, it really gets to you. It really affects our minds and stuff, and that's where our problems stem from. Bipolar, depression, getting really down low, our anxiety, PTSD, all mental health stuff comes from people, other people. We're not just, it's not just hereditary or we're born with it. It comes from other people, our environments and situations that we're born in, or that we're put in, any trauma we go through, any of these things. Even if we're born with something, that's from some other family member or somebody else. Still because of somebody else. When I talk about spirituality things, spirits, souls, and all this stuff, or when I post on social media, we're a bunch of souls. A lot of Christians and spiritual people know this. We are a soul or a spirit living in these bodies. These are muscles and skin, flesh, bone, and fat, all kinds of stuff. Veins, arteries, nerves, cell, and tissues, all kinds of stuff. We're like energy. There's energy inside me, spiritual energy, and that's all it is. That's all we are. Molecules and energy. Just like, just like in science class, but with God and the creation of all this stuff, it's beyond science. Everybody wants to say, follow the science. Let's listen to the science. Well, these are things that, don't go along with that. Some of it might be part of it, but it's beyond that, beyond the Bible. How do you think we move and do stuff? Like something has to make this function and run. A car won't drive itself with a person being in it. It won't run without gas. It won't run without an engine and stuff like that. So we're not going to function and do stuff without something inside this. We're an energy, like molecule, living in this, wrapped in skin. Nothing more, nothing less. We're here in this physical realm to just live and do things and help each other and understand why the hell we're here in the first place, and just do stuff. And people just take everything so seriously, and people are like a realist. I hate realists. I absolutely dislike and despise realists. When somebody comes along, or somebody I'm talking to, and they're like, well, I'm a realist, so, So in other words, whatever things I'm saying, or that you're saying, and that these realist people, it's almost like they don't give a shit what we're talking about, what we desire, what we want, our dreams, goals, what we're even saying. Like they don't give a shit because they're a realist. Like, oh, well, you know, this is a plate. You know, this is a glass. Yeah, I know what the fuck it is, but, you know, the question is, do I want to believe it? You know, this is water, a bottle of water. But you can believe that, okay, this gives you hydration and this is healthy for you and everything else. Or, I don't know, trying to think of examples here. You know, I can say, well, I want to do motivation, motivate people and that because people need it around here. People want a good laugh, so I do comedy, do all kinds of stuff, you know. I want to get out there, put myself out there, but I have people saying that, oh, well, you know, that's fine and everything, but, you know, good luck, or it's going to take a while, or like every time I say something, my goals and what I want, it goes over their heads. It goes over their heads, you know, as to say, okay, well, that's nice, but, you know, come down to earth again, you know, and take things seriously, because I'm a realist, and it's like people think I should be the same, should be a realist. I'm not. I'm not just a realist, or not even a realist. I like to be a dreamer and, you know, goal-oriented. I don't know what else, but a person that just likes to have faith and believe and stuff can happen, and it takes time and everything else. But we live in a world that people take stuff way too seriously, and they're scared, they're in fear, they don't want to say the wrong stuff, they don't want to say nothing. You know, they don't want to support each other as good because they're afraid of being embarrassed by it or something. I mean, stupid stuff. You know, I support people. I'm not scared. I don't care. What's wrong with that? You know, or try to be supportive. You know, be nice about it. I don't understand, but that's like the world we live in. You say something, it goes over their heads. Instead of them saying, well, that's great, you know, and good luck, or, you know, whatever, kiss my ass, or nothing. I do have people supporting me in everything, what I'm doing. I don't think people just believe it's going to happen, you know, so that sucks. But deep inside my heart, myself, I know stuff's going to take off and happen sooner or later. I've already tried fitness training, massage. I've already been landscaping, doing handiwork. I've been doing it already. I buy and invest in nice tools, new stuff. I do it. I don't sit back and wish for it to happen, you know, and think it's not going to happen. And I don't go out and buy a bunch of used stuff. I like new stuff. You know, I work for it, so I mix it up. But a lot of people, you know, they sit and just hope and wish stuff's going to happen and come to them. I don't do that no more. I stopped doing it. I just force my way through. I get it, or try to wait a little bit, and then I force it some more, or whatever. I just try to work it a little bit, you know, or anybody out there. You know, I flirt and do stuff with people, talk. You know, if I want somebody, I try to talk to them, flirt with them, and if it don't happen, it don't happen. You know, you just take chances. I'm taking chances I never did before, and that's what you got to do. Take chances. Quit screwing around and everything, just live life. Too many people being a realist out there. Drives me nuts. You know, by the time you're done being a realist, you know, life will be over. Okay, and you'll regret stuff that you didn't do, and have fun with or laugh about something and take risks because you were too busy being a realist. You know, thinking, well, you know, let's take some stuff seriously here, and you know, let's have a job, let's do all these things correctly, and trying to think of the other thing here. Just taking things seriously and being politically correct, all this stuff, and not incorrect, stupid stuff like that. Like, give me a break. That's not me. I just whatever, do whatever. Be a rebel, be a black sheep, whatever. But I got too many people, some people around here, and some couple friends, whatever, they might act like that. They're a realist, and they try to think I'm gonna be like that, and keep hindering, holding you back. Like, no, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna be that person. No, you're gonna be all miserable and not have that, not have these things. No, I don't want you to have it. You got people jealous and pulling you back, hindering. That's been my whole damn life. Family members or people around here, it's bullshit. That's all it's been. Can't have a house, can't have nothing. Not even now. Can't even freaking get nothing. I mean, my God, it's bullshit. So, people hinder other people. People affect other people and cause people to suffer. So there you have it. I'm like open conservative Republican, but there's shit that, makes him mad, and that needs to just slide on by. People need to just quit doing it. They hinder, and keep people from doing stuff, keep me from doing stuff. Oh, we must not let him have that, or have these things, or be that person. We must take it away from him, or discredit him, that person, because we want it. We're jealous. So if we're jealous and everything, we don't want that person to have it. We don't want Adam to have it. That's what it feels like around here and with people, family or people. It's bullshit. So if any of you are going through that, I mean, sorry to hear, because I'm going through it. But we all got to hang in there best we can. Just got to hang in there, and be stronger than that. And we got to be 2 steps ahead of that, not let it happen. We got to sadly prove that we can do these things and everything, which this is what makes you codependent, makes me codependent, because we got to do things to prove to people. And it's like, I can't do anything without doing that. I can't do anything without having somebody, or having a girl, but that's everybody. We want somebody to love and have somebody with us and to support us and root for us, cheer for us. We want that. When you don't have anybody, it makes it a little tough, because you got to do it yourself. There's a person I know that tries to do that for herself, but I'm not letting her do it alone anymore. I'm done. Letting her do it alone, somebody doing it alone, struggling. We're going to do it together here. So, all it is to it. But I don't let people suffer and watch it happen. I do something about it, while other people let it happen and stand there and wave and let people suffer and let it happen. Not me. I don't let shit happen. I just do something about it and be a humanitarian. And I'll just, read the Bible and everything in my house, sit on my ass, and think everybody else should be the same way, but not do anything to help people or physically show people stuff, show people love, show up and actually do something for the person besides donating and stuff like that. All this stuff gets old, let me tell you. It gets real old quick, especially after years and years, or 17 years in my life. It gets old quick, and you're just pissed off about it. It's ridiculous. It's insane. But, I'm getting to the bottom of it, and figuring it out and getting through it. That's all it is. I made this big comeback out of this coma, this depression I was in, a bad, low depression, near death. Took these hydroxyzine pills. They sedate you so bad and drop your heart rate down really bad, and like you're having a near death or sleep apnea. Plus at the hospital they gave me anxiety medicine through the IV, because I just wasn't myself and nothing else, and had kidney stones. I just was freaking out, wigging out. But I was sedated so bad that, tried to sleep and was in my bed, and I felt my body do some stuff, weird stuff. I shook and everything else. I felt my heart go down, and I seemed like a spinning tunnel, zigzags, and just was seeing it and not, waking up and stuff from it. It was weird. It was so fast, and then you come back, and then you're up and pacing around, and it was scary. A lot of people say they had near death. I mean, yeah, if you come close and stuff like that, but question is, did your heart stop? Like, were you halfway there? And stuff like that, whether you're drowning in the water, in an accident, or, in a plane, or I don't know, who knows what, or if you're falling off a cliff, falling off of whatever, if your heart basically stopped or almost stopped. And I mean, I guess near death is almost near death, basically. That's why they call it that. I guess, that is almost it too. You're close to dying, you get close. Like right on the edge, I guess it's still considered all that. So, but my heart stopped. It didn't feel good, and after April, my body, is still recovering from it all and getting into reality here. That's pretty scary. But anyways, when you go through this stuff, you realize more things about life, and you don't take it for granted and take advantage of it. You learn to live life. You just live. So that's why I get tired of it. We get tired of hearing these things. Realist people trying to stop us. Like, no, you can't do that. Don't do that. Or no, let's be serious and go get a job or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Jobs. Everybody's always telling me, go get a job. Those words piss me off too, so bad. Every time I hear somebody do it, I cringe. That's a bad trigger for me. Bad trigger. When they say, go out there and get a job. Why don't you get a job? Well, you don't have a job, and that's why you don't have what you have to have the stuff, or don't have a house. Sick of hearing it. That's not why. Why would I go get a job, make somebody else rich? Another company or another person rich. Showing up for a job, clocking in, putting the time in, the hours, stocking shelves, or working in a warehouse, a factory, putting stuff together, working a machine, I don't know, working here, working at this place, whatever it might be. You're making that company rich, those people rich, and nothing for yourself. You're making hourly wage, 10, 12, 15 hour, 18 an hour, or whatever it might be. Okay. When I'm landscaping, doing stuff, I charge, $600 for something, $900 and plus dumping fees and that, tearing stuff down, landscaping, $80, $100, $200 on brush hogging. Okay, I go out and make the stuff in a day, and I do all that. But now I'm trying to do videos and comedy, motivation stuff, mental health. I can go out there and entertain and speak at an event, do comedy somewhere. That's what I'm trying to do here. Get hired and booked somewhere and speak for an hour or whatever, 2 hours, entertain, and have fun with that, and make, whatever. I was looking up what entertainers or comedians make, like at events and parties or weddings. So, right in there, just gotta figure it out. But too many people putting us down. It's exhausting. It depresses you more. And myself, I'm trying to keep myself up and keep the peace. And just like this other person I know, trying to keep her peace, I'm trying to do the same thing, so we got to do it together. It's tough. It sucks. But, it's all about balancing it out, keeping positive with yourself, getting enough sleep and rest and taking the vitamins and all this stuff, exercise, just being positive. I'm not even watching TV no more anymore, just don't want it. Don't even want to be in the house. I'm living under someone else's roof, but, there's things that I needs to happen here, quick. But, I've been hindered way too much, and certain people have out there, but it's been bad. Bad. But, criticism, well, going back, I didn't really explain what, constructive criticism was. Insults. I talked about being insulted, stuff looking like shit and stupid, dumb, or I'm stupid and I'm dumb. But, when you're using constructive criticism on somebody, it comes with suggestions. You can say, well, this plate isn't lined up. It needs to be lined up. Maybe try doing this and see how that looks. Give suggestions to the person, or to your kid, your child, or person, or employee, whoever. Don't just insult and be like, well, that looks like shit and stupid and whatever, and then walk away. How's that going to help? It doesn't help nothing. And that's what's been done to me. Insulted all the time. Stuff look like shit and stupid, and I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how to do anything, and, I'll never have stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, that just makes it worse. How am I supposed to get better, stronger, or be a better person from that? You can't. So you're doing that to the person, or your child, and you're ruining them, is what you're doing. It's not working. Manipulating something, to make them believe something, or, mess with the water in the house, mess with whatever, the fans in the house, say that, well, the fan is supposed to go this direction, or that direction. Okay, well, in the winter time, it goes clockwise, okay? It goes counterclockwise in the summer. So it can drop stuff down, and when you have air conditioning running, when you have heat going, it sucks it up and spreads it around more, circulates it. So it's not the opposite. You read your book, and it says all these things, but I'm told the opposite, that I don't know what I'm talking about with it, and that's not how it goes. Well, if he would read his book, besides installing fans, then he would know, instead of insulting me about it. Like I'm stupid and don't know what I'm talking about. So that's one example. Instead of agreeing with me and saying, okay, yes, you're right. You're right, I'm wrong, blah, blah, blah. Trying to give me some credit here. I was never given credit. So when you're not given credit out there, that messes you up more, puts you down so bad. It's horrible. So that's the difference between being insulted or insulting somebody, or using constructive criticism, or receiving it with suggestions, with advice, encouragement. You want to balance it out. Encouragement and criticism. You don't just insult and do all that stuff, and that makes a person drop, and they can't balance themselves out and get back, get positive. And it's a bad balance. Or when you've got two opposite parents. One babies the hell out of you and very protective of you, and you got the other one insulting you and putting you down, and then they can't encourage you and bring you up at the same time, teach you how to be tough and not kiss ass out there and do anything. You have a bad balance. That's a recipe for mental disorders right there. Disaster. Bipolar and borderline personality, mood disorder, and all this stuff. Okay? Depression. That's a recipe for all these things, and people wonder why. Let's give the person pills, medication. Let's give him all this stuff because it's his fault. No, he's got the issues. He's got the mental disorders. No, it's not their damn fault. It's how we grow up and what we deal with in our environment. or influences, or what's on TV and all kinds of stuff. It's not something we're always born with, and that's hereditary. It's what we're exposed to and how we grow up. I witnessed it with people. I was involved in stuff, or I see people out there, or see it on Facebook. They see it with me, and they wonder why. Well, I explain why. I put it out there, why I am the way I am, and stuff like that. So, bad balances in our life, not trying to be balanced or at peace, and finding ourselves and figuring out what went wrong or the way we grew up and stuff. And it's about reconditioning our brain, reconditioning the way we learn stuff and grew up, so we can fix ourselves and be different, be better, do things better in life. And that's the difference. But I went on too long. This is over 24 minutes, plus I got to connect it with the other video before I got interrupted. So I'm going to cut it off. Share, like, subscribe, please. And share everything. Got to get the views up and stuff. And then find my spiritual page on Facebook, The Awakening. Alright, goodbye. I forgot to add a little bit more in this video here. So, like, in regards of, again, growing up with family and stuff like that, and in my case, in their house, anybody's house almost, there's a lot of flaws and different things going on, and people have their dysfunctions going on and kinks and stuff like that. But in the parents' house, obviously the stuff's never been perfect, and stuff's not been all done at once and completed good. I have a dad that took carpentry and learned all this stuff, but again, worrying about my stuff or my crafting and everything I'm doing instead of about himself. Instead of our family members or parents worrying about themselves, they get into our business. It's enmeshment, enmeshed. We're enmeshed. They get involved with us, our life, what we're doing. Instead of worrying about themselves like they're supposed to, they want to get involved or use things against us and blame us. But anyway, okay, like the kitchen cabinets. They're from 1973. They were sitting in the warehouse, wherever that's at. Don't know which warehouse, but they were sitting in there. By the time my dad built his house, in around 1981, that was already 9 years. 74, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 9, 80, 81. 8 or 9 years. So they weren't technically new, brand spanking new, but they were sitting in there for 9 years before he came and bought them, puts them up, and they're 52 years old now, okay, not been replaced. A lot of people try to replace stuff and flip their house if they got money. It costs money. So if you don't, you don't. It doesn't get done. But that's just it, what it is. We don't need criticized or put down and everything when our family members or that person has their own stuff going on, mistakes and things like that. They should not be worrying about us at all. If I had flaws and different things going on, I would not be putting my kids down or nothing like that. Wouldn't make any sense. That's just all on me. I have to fix it. I have to be happy with stuff, happy with it, and fix things. But there's another example, like, okay, stuff has been parted and pieced together and stuff like that. But, every family house is different. But that's just it. It's crazy. I don't like any lies. I'm all truth person, truth guy. I like the truth and people telling the truth to me. I don't like any fakes, phonies, lies, nothing. That's not me. I don't try to be that way. I put everything out there wide open and I'll be honest. So I don't lie or nothing. Try not to. That's not me. So when I see bad stuff around me and evilness and the lies and all that, I don't like it. So I call it out. Otherwise I can't be around it, and handle it. So stuff like that in the house, in their house and stuff like that. So realize these things. Try to figure it out. Realize these things. what's going on in your life with your family members, parents, whoever out there, what they might be doing against you or what you might be doing yourself. Balance it out. So that's just it. All right, that's it. Goodbye.